Welcome back to this week's episode of the Bench of Science. I normally prefer to take off my glasses, but please bear with me. This is the 10th time recording this. I kid you not. Just want to introduce the topic of the day, L-Theanine. What is some basic information you need to know? Well, it's an amino acid that is mostly found within tea, sometimes mushrooms, and when it's supplemented, it's typically found in pills or capsules, as well as some powders. And it is typically associated with sleep, stress, and other cognitive functions. The way it acts is by crossing the blood-brain barrier, which we've mentioned in the previous episode. It's basically there to protect your brain from various chemicals, drugs, etc., just to make sure there's no damage that can be caused. And once it does so, it increases the amount of GABA or glutamate that is found, dopamine. And once those levels are increased, it induces the alpha wave frequency.
I've literally broken down how to get women into an exact science.
So, just for a little bit of context, this is what you can expect from the different frequencies within brain activity. As you can see at the very bottom here, delta sleep, you get to tired or half alive. I like to call that the TikTok slash binge watch Netflix state. And then you get your relaxed, more calm alpha state, which is the goal here. It's typically induced as compared to being alert slash stressed out, maybe playing sports, you at the office, etc. And high levels of awareness is where you're basically freaking out, you're panicking. So the goal of inducing the alpha wave frequency over here is to bring you down from one of these two states to here. It also indirectly acts as a glutamate reuptake inhibitor or a receptor antagonist. So what does that mean? Basically, it prevents the reuptake or reabsorption of glutamates into the neurons, as well as preventing glutamate or GABA from attaching to the receptors. That's what receptor agonist is. It takes similar shape, similar form to what typically gets received by receptors, and it sits there in place of that. Reason why there's these parentheses at low but noticeable basically means that yes, it does happen, but not to a significant extent where you could stop taking any form of medication for this, which is a warning that has been put out there multiple times. I guess people just hear the statement like receptor antagonist or inhibitor and they think, oh, I don't need to have medication anymore. No, take a medication. Listen to your doctor.
After all, I'm not a doctor.
It's benefits. Since you're more relaxed, typically you are reducing the amount of stress that you're feeling. I don't know about you, but I don't feel more stressed when I'm relaxed. Doesn't make sense, right? So it reduces stress, reduces anxiety, and it can reduce the amount of insomnia you're feeling. Think about it. If you're coming from a more stressed out state towards relaxed, which is closer towards the same levels as that found in delta or what was the other one? Delta, beta, yes, compared to the previous levels of beta and gamma, you're more likely to be able to fall asleep. Other benefits you might see is the prevention of your blood pressure rising. Typically, blood pressure rises as you are more stressed. If you're able to prevent the stress from happening in the first place, you're able to prevent your blood pressure from skyrocketing. It is also known to increase focus and attention, but these two traits are typically emphasized when taken alongside caffeine, meaning you still get the benefits, but when you add on caffeine, about 40 milligrams, or as you can see the bottom here, half a cup of coffee, it is more noticeable. There are additional benefits such as potential to boost the immune system and neuroprotectiveness. For those that don't know, neuroprotectiveness is protecting neurons from degrading, getting damaged, or basically not working at all. However, more data is required, meaning it has been seen here and there in various studies, but it's not been fully proven. Sorry, just checking that my camera's still on. I don't know how to record this again. The ranges for various benefits, as you can see, once you get to 100 milligrams plus half a cup of coffee, you're more likely to have better focus, better attention. And once you get to 200 milligrams, it increases the length of the sleep. And once you get to 250, 400 milligrams, improves the quality of the sleep that you can expect. Now we get onto dosages and timing. So typically 100 milligrams to 100 to 400 milligrams is taken in clinical studies. And in terms of timing, it's not too important so long as you are taking it daily. You more or less see the benefits throughout the day. For better focus, you want to be in the range of 100 milligrams or so. Add half a cup of coffee, as discussed before, or typically your pre-workouts have like 100 to maybe 150 milligrams of caffeine. So basically half a scoop to a third of a scoop of pre-workout alongside L-Theanine. Like, I don't want to make it sound like this is purely just for the benefit of lifters. Anybody and everybody can benefit from this so long as taken appropriately. And as stated previously, sleep improvements start to happen once you reach 200 milligrams for greater length of sleep. And once it gets to the range of 250 and upwards, we can see better quality of sleep. What are some warnings you need to consider? This is a pretty unique one that I haven't seen before, but anybody that's taking chemotherapy or under the process of chemotherapy, i.e., you are treating cancer, you may want to avoid this because it has been noted that it can reduce the effectiveness of such therapies, as well as anybody that takes glutamates or GABA medication. Reason being, since it influences the levels that you'd experience, you may not want to play around with that. And you maybe ask yourself, what about serotonin, dopamine? From the research I've seen, there's no significant effect, so there's not too much to worry about. But if you are concerned, you can always check with your doctor.
After all, I'm not a doctor.
Aside from those two side effects or two warnings, there are no real side effects aside from that seen for anybody that's highly sensitive to caffeine, because L-theanine is typically extracted alongside caffeine. Finally, anybody that's pregnant or breastfeeding may want to watch out for this. So, in summary, it's an amino acid that is typically found in tea that crosses the blood-brain barrier to increase GABA, serotonin, and dopamine. Once it does those various actions, or increases those three products within the brain, it induces a state of alpha wave activity and promotes the state of feeling more relaxed, more calm, more chilled out, more mellow. And for people that are currently under chemo or they take glutamate / GABA medication, you may want to avoid this. Might not be for you, bro. Although side effects are typically not seen, anybody that is taking caffeine may want to monitor their levels and see how it makes them feel, as well as anybody that's pregnant or breastfeeding. Definitely have a chat with your doctor first. Finally, for the various benefits, as stated before, when you get to 100 milligrams, it can prevent blood pressure from rising, reduce stress as well as anxiety, or even assist with focus and attention. But focus and attention are more emphasized, or they're better seen when taken alongside caffeine. If you get to the range of 200 milligrams or more, you are likely to see benefits in terms of sleep quality as well as sleep duration. And I just want to say a quick shout out to anybody that has been watching my videos lately, especially this week from like Monday. It's been the craziest week in the channel. Maybe not necessarily for the bench, but as you can see, I don't know which side the graphic will be. Anyways, as you can see, this has been the most activity the channel seen. I think like half of the activity since the birth of the channel's actually been in the last 5 days. So thank you. Shout out to everyone. I really appreciate it. And yeah, actually feels like a nice little birthday gift. Yes, it was my birthday this week. Actually recording this at the end of my birthday. So yeah. Love you guys. Appreciate you and see you again for next week's episode. I have deleted quite a few of my previous uploads related to workouts. Just want to say, I appreciate anybody that has watched those videos, left a comment, etc. Really means the world to me. But I felt like I was getting distracted from the main points of the channel, which has been and will always be for the foreseeable future based around the bench of science.